In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I manage and communicate with my graphic design clients. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for coming. My name is Megan. I am a graphic designer. I'm a full-time designer now, and I like to post every Wednesday and Sunday and share with you all my business struggles and just show you behind the scenes of me designing for my clients, and also just have fun with you guys and connect as designers and have a really good time. So if you enjoy these types of videos, I would love it so much if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribe and stick around. But today I'm super excited to be talking to you all about managing clients, because I know that can be one of the trickiest things when you are new into the business world, and I feel like we don't really get told how to do this. We kind of just have to learn on our own. So throughout my 7 years of being a designer, I have learned lots of different things that I'm going to share with you all today, and I'm also going to answer some pending questions I get on how many clients I take at a time and the programs I use to really make sure that I'm on top of it and managing them properly. To kick this off, I want to answer one of the most common questions I get all the time, and that is, how many clients do I have at a time? Because I know I have been there where I say yes to everything, and then suddenly I am like so overwhelmed that I regret saying yes to everything. So I'm going to share with you guys where my sweet spot is, where I feel the most comfortable, and where I'm not overwhelmed and I'm not going to face that burnout. So for me, that is when I have 2 branding clients and 1 website design client. 3 clients at a time seems to be the best for me. It's what I can manage, and I have had up to 6 clients at a time, and that was just absolutely insane, way too much to do. And I probably could do that if I outsourced a lot more of my work, but I do like to work on my stuff. It's really hard for me to hand it off to someone else because I love what I do and I love designing, and it's hard to find someone that kind of matches my exact aesthetic. I feel like it's a super busy month. I'm getting lots of clients. Then I can handle 2 websites at a time and 2 branding clients at a time, which is 4 total. So ultimately my goal is next year to increase my pricing and only take on 1 client of each different package. So 1 branding client, 1 website client, or 2 branding and web clients. So that is my goal, to have just 2 clients at a time. That way I feel like I can pour more of my energy into my content, into my courses, and the things that I really want to focus on. So that is my ultimate goal. But for me right now, 3 to 4 clients is my sweet spot, ideally 2. So I wanted to answer that right off the bat because I get that question all the time. My advice for you, if you feel like you took on way too much and you're just like getting super overwhelmed and you don't know what to do about it, I highly recommend looking into bringing in a developer or any sort of outsourcing that you can do. That way you don't face that burnout season, and that way you can actually perform for your clients the best that you can. So I do recommend outsourcing if you feel like you're in that situation. So many places you can find people to outsource for. You can go on Upwork, you can go on Fiverr, or you could even just search on Instagram and find someone with like a similar style as you. There's so many places to outsource, but this is why it's really important to make sure in the very beginning that your proposal can account for any sort of outsourcing that you may potentially have to do. So definitely keep that in mind when you're coming up with your pricing, but that is my tip if you feel like you're in one of those seasons. Trust me, I've been there, and it is stressful, but then you'll learn what you can and cannot handle. Now, I really wanted to talk to you guys about how to manage your clients, because I feel like once you have a good client management process down, you will feel so much less stress. Even if you do have 5 to 6 clients, this kind of process will really help you manage everything on your plate. So I know I've talked about it before, but I do use Dubsado for my project management. It's so helpful for me because I can do so many different things. So I'm going to kind of dive into that with you guys today and show you how I'm utilizing Dubsado to the best of its ability so that I can not only stay on top of my project tasks in the task board, I can schedule things, I can communicate directly through the platform. It's so easy, and it definitely took a lot of learning, and I did hire a virtual assistant to come in and to optimize my Dubsado. So now I feel like it's even more useful for me, but I am going to share with you some of the things I have learned from my virtual assistant and some of the things that you can apply to your business as well. So one of the things I feel like I didn't fully grasp when I signed up for Dubsado and started using it is that you can set status, like lead statuses, which is so helpful. It allows me to log into my Dubsado and click on the different areas and follow up with the people that I need to follow up with or work on the things in a very seamless way. So for me, I have different labels for statuses. I have number 1, discovery, which is my discovery call process. If we're in the very initial stage of them filling out my form and we have a discovery call set, that is when that status is set. And then the second status is proposal sent. So after the discovery call, when I go in there and add the proposal, add all the things that we talked about and send it off to them, that is when that status changes. And then the next status is followed up. So this is like my lead status area. So these are the people that haven't fully committed to work with me yet, but have reached out to me and are interested in working with me. And this is where I like to follow up with them and make sure that I'm not leaving anyone in the dust. Besides the lead statuses, I also have job statuses, which basically means these clients have submitted their deposit, they're ready to work with me, or we're currently working on their project. So for these statuses, I have number 1, in process, which means I started the project and we are just on our way to building a beautiful brand. So first one is in process. Second one is completed. So I do not change that status until I receive that final payment. I do not want to make sure, I want to make sure I'm receiving everything I need to receive. I followed up with all invoices if needed until I change that status to completed. I also have another status that is waiting on payment. I don't usually use that one very much because I can already see in those projects like the invoice follow-ups and all of that. So I don't really need to worry about that because my payment management thing is automated and they're reminded automatically. So I don't really use that status, but the one I go to most often is in process, because if I feel like I don't know whose project to work on today, I just click on in process and I'm like, okay, this is what I have going on, and I can prioritize my schedule that way. But besides the statuses in Dubsado, I also love utilizing Dubsado's task boards. So task boards are really awesome because I can actually schedule everything in here to connect with my Google Calendar. It's super awesome. So I'll show you guys a little bit of sneak peek into what that looks like. But if I go into, let's say, one of my in-process clients, or yeah, let's use one of those. If I were to go in there and go to the tasks tab, I'd be able to see task boards over there. And then I could add the boards that I already have templates of. So I actually spent some time, and this is what I really spent time on when I went to that graphic designer retreat, is I spent time on building task boards and figuring out the process of the branding design or the website design. And for me, that would include like sending the questionnaire, making sure that I'm sending them the first concepts, and adding dates to each one of those so that the client can see what I'm working on during what weeks. So task boards are really awesome because I can actually apply that to my client's portal. And the portals I've shown you guys before on YouTube, they're really nice. They can log in with their email and they can see not only the emails that we have going back and forth, they can look at their invoice and proposal again if they want to. They can look at their questionnaire again if they want to go add something else in there. And then they can also see the task board, which is really nice because if they're curious what it is I'm working on, they can just go in there and there we go. So I actually have really tried to figure out a way to add this task board onto like a web page. That way it's easier for them to access, because I don't really love the idea that they have to log in every time to see what's going on. I wish that it could just be a simple, easy link that they go to if they're just curious, but currently Dubsado does not offer that. So for the meantime, I'm just using the portal area for them to access this part of it. The task boards not only help my client, but they really help me. When we're talking about like client management, if I were to not set up dates and a schedule in the beginning of the project, it would just be a mess. I would be so unorganized, and I would probably feel like I don't know what I'm working on and just super overwhelmed. So I really recommend the first thing to do, even the week before your start date, is to set up a task board. Even if it's not in Dubsado, set up a calendar outline of what you're going to be working on during what weeks and a goal launch date. That way you can be motivated and everyone can stay on the same kind of timeline. So another thing that I love about Dubsado is the canned emails, because I was finding myself, like, even just a few months ago, I would spend 1 to 2 hours, even more, emailing back my clients and making sure that they know, like, that I'm keeping some communication throughout the project and I'm not leaving them wondering where I am or what it is I'm doing. So canned emails have helped me so much, because I was able to go in there and set up within my voice different emails like proposal follow-up, or hey, just checking in, or if I have a start date happening soon, I like to follow up with those clients every single week leading up to the project, letting them know that the start date will be happening soon. So canned emails have been awesome, because I can just apply that canned email to the email without having to write anything. It's such a time saver, and also it just is so nice, because if I were to go into my client's project and let's say I need to send a late payment reminder, I already have those emails written out, so I don't need to spend any time writing out the emails that maybe aren't the most fun to write out. So it's super helpful. I have a long list of canned emails. That way I can just easily go select which one I want to send. And it also has smart fields, so it already adds the client's name for me, which is so awesome. So you might be wondering, how often am I communicating with my client throughout our project? Because sometimes I feel like start date happens and I'm working on their logos and strategy for the first week, but they might not be hearing from me until I'm ready to send that first initial concept. So I've often thought about this a lot, like how often should I be talking to them? How often should I be checking in? And for me, I like to check in with my clients every single week. I do not want to leave a week uncommunicated about, because I want to make sure they know that I'm working on something, or if I'm waiting on feedback from them, I want to make sure that I am going to get that feedback from them on a timely manner. That way we can stay on our timeline and reach that ideal launch date. So I like to talk with my clients every single week, and typically I just communicate through email. I used to actually hop on video calls with my clients, and although it was nice, I felt like I just needed more time in my schedule. So doing the emails allows them to sit and write out really thoughtful responses, and I do allow them to answer questions that I do ask so that they're not confused on what to leave feedback on. So I do like to email about my feedback every single week. The topic of videos and video calling with my clients, I did want to mention something I have been implementing this year that has been so helpful, and that is when I'm sending over their website design, I actually like to record myself walking through the website design so that I'm able to express to them why I put certain things certain places, or why I use certain colors, or the photos that maybe need to be replaced. I like to actually walk them through using my own voice and kind of showing them before they go into the design and start forming their own opinions. I do want to share my approach to it and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I use Vimeo screen recording. It's super easy. I just hit record and I'm able to create super quick, like 2-minute videos talking about the design. And I also show my clients in that video how to leave feedback for me on the Adobe XD link. So Adobe XD has a really awesome way of pinning comments and the comments showing up, and it will actually notify me when they're leaving comments and on which parts they're leaving comments on. So I always want to show them too how to use that. That way there's no questions and that we can keep moving forward, because ultimately the goal is to not waste any time. I want everything to be super efficient, and I want us to stay on our timeline. And I notice if I'm super communicative and I give them all the directions they need, then things move a bit faster and a bit smoother. So those are just some tips I wanted to share with you guys about how to manage clients and how many clients you feel comfortable taking on. I feel like that's such a personal choice because everyone offers a different package, everyone offers a different timeline. So definitely figure out what you're most comfortable with. I would recommend starting slower, not faster, because if you take on way too many clients, it's going to be a little bit more stressful to figure out how to deal with that than if you were to start small and add on clients gradually to figure out where your sweet spot is. So I really wanted to share that with you all because I've been getting quite a few questions on that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any other questions on client management and any of that kind of topic, because I know, like I said in the beginning, it's hard. I feel like we have to learn on our own and just go for it and kind of fake it till you make it. But I have learned quite a few things that have helped me so much. So I really hope that was helpful. If it was, I would appreciate it so much if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And I will see you guys in my next video.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I